All right, good evening, everybody. What is going on? It is the 18th today. We're going to try and make some money in the Asian session tonight. I hope everybody had a good day. Just getting into look at the charts here. We're going to start with a couple good ones here. Euro CHF looks like it broke its resistance here. We're going to jump right into these charts, though. Make sure that everybody can understand why we get in the charts and the structure that we're using. So it's really important to understand the why. Anari Brown, hello, what's going on, man? How are you? So we're going to start with the most volume. We're going to look at the 1 hour right now. So if we're on the 1 hour here, we already have our support and our resistances drawn here. Super important to get those marked out. Obviously, as most of you guys know, if not and you're new, this is what you do. So what we're looking at here is kind of in range. We're in between two zones, our resistance and our support. Not really something that we're going to want to look to trade. It's also right on the EMA ribbon, so not really sure which way it's going to go, if it's going to go up or it's going to go down. So when analyzing, you kind of want to get an idea of if we're at a point of resistance or a point of support. In this case, we're not. It's right in the middle. Not something that we're going to touch as of right now. Moving on to our next chart, we are on GBP AUD. Now, our next chart, again, has clear support and resistance. And we definitely have an uptrend here, as you can see. This has been on a pretty strong uptrend since about the 12th. This is a pretty strong uptrend. We're also getting some consolidation right here. If you don't understand what consolidation is, what that is when the market tracks sideways. So right here, you see a bunch of hour candles. Those hour candles are just moving sideways. There's no real movement up or down. No real trade to be had there because there isn't much movement. You need volume and you need movement in order to make a trade and for it to fit our trading criteria, which is typically break of structure. That is not something that we have right here. Moving on, we're going to look at our next chart here is Euro AUD. That has the third most volume. And again, we always look at volume. The main reason we want to look at volume is because volume will give us a good indication of how many traders are trading it, and it's typically a good something that tells you if there's going to be movement. So looking at Euro AUD here, Euro AUD broke its previous highs. It had a bit of a double top. If you don't know what a double top is, it's when it goes up and makes two peaks like mountains and comes back down. It almost looks like an M. Some people call it an M pattern. In this case, it was a double top right here, and it drove down through the zone. Kind of tried to redirect here, and now is using this EMA ribbon as a pretty strong resistance point. So this is something that we could look to take sells on. Certainly a possibility. But we won't know for a little bit here until we get a little bit more volume and as time goes on here as we get a new 15-minute candle. Next, we have AUD-JPY. Again, trading within the zone here. So if we take a look at this one, you have your resistance zone and you have your support zone. We have a clear uptrend here, but it's kind of just sitting in limbo right between here. We don't know if it's going to go up or if it's going to come back down. So again, another chart where there isn't a decisive move for us to take. And that's really important to note that when you are trading, you want to have criteria that makes the trade decisive. It gives a clear direction on what you think it's going to do. This one, again, not so much. Moving on, we're going to look at GJ, which is, I know a lot of people like to trade GBP, JPY. It's a very popular pair that's traded during the Asian session. We can take a look at this one. Oh, good. I'm glad the bot worked this time. Thank you, Adele. So again, we're in the middle. So let's draw this out here. Let's take a look. You have your resistance, you have your support here, and we are in the middle with a lot of consolidation here and a lot of consolidation here, but we did have a spike. We had a big spike right here. So what that lets us know is that we could see it return to its previous highs. With it being 3 bullish candles, that's obviously a positive sign. A lot of the volume that's coming in is buying power, but at the same time, the candles right here are a lot smaller, meaning that buying pressure is coming to a halt. So, like we talked about, not trading within the zones in the middle, GJ is kind of in that zone where we don't really like to take trades without having a definitive way in which the market is going to move. So, again, moving on, not necessarily a solid looking chart as of right now. CHFJPY has some major consolidation. So if we take a look at this, we had a big W pattern here. You had a big W pattern that finished off nicely. So if you caught that, congratulations. But look at all this consolidation right here. We would need to have some sort of signal or some sort of movement, candle closure above or below this zone that would show us that it's either going to go down or it's either going to move up. Right now, again on this chart, we also don't have any clear indication of that. So with that being said, it's not something that we're going to look to get into until we have some clear indication. Now, some of you might ask, what is a clear indication? Well, a candle closure above here would signify that it's going to go up. If we had it break the previous lows and a candle closure right here, we could assume that it's going to go down this way and fill towards this zone right around here. But as of right now, we're not really seeing anything that would give us the indication of whether it's going to go up or it's going to go down. Moving on to our next chart here, we have Euro USD. Euro USD, another one with a lot of consolidation. There's a lot of market consolidation today. I don't know if you guys have noticed that trend here, but a lot of consolidation right here. No real big upswings, no real big downswings. It's just kind of sitting in limbo right here. So for us, again, not something we would want to take unless we saw a closure below here or we broke the previous highs with a full candle closure above right here, which was something that we'd want to see. A full candle closure above or a full candle closure below. One of those two would give us an indication. So I think you guys see where I'm getting at here in terms of how I trade, the method I use to trade. It's really all about getting confirmation at a support or resistance zone and some sort of break of structure. Now, here's a chart where we actually have some movement. So let's take a look at Euro CHF here, guys. Euro CHF has a clear resistance right here. Here's our resistance. Here's our support. And we broke support here. Right here we broke support. So what that tells us is one of two things. It's either going to continue to drive down through the zone, or we're going to see it drive down to where it is, come back up and retest the zone, and then possibly come back down. So when you're looking to get into a trade, it's really important that you verify if it is in fact a driving through the zone type trade or a trade where it is going to come back and retest the previous support and your new possible resistance and then make a move down. At this time, we don't know that. However, what we do know is that we did drive through our previous support, and this could in fact be a new resistance. A lot of these charts, guys, are really tough to tell what's going on. Like especially this one. So let's look at USD JPY. We had a break of structure right here. This was a trade that I was looking at earlier. So there's your trend, and it broke it right here. Broke it right here. And now it's consolidating. But the consolidation right here doesn't give us any detail of whether it's going to go up or down. It's still consolidating sideways. But we did have a break of structure, so we could expect to see some sort of move to finish the zone up, which would be about 32 pips. Or we could see it reject the zone. And in that case, we can look for it to fill down this way for 100 plus pips. Again, there's not enough information here for us to make an educated decision on whether we would get into this or not. GBP USD, same thing. A lot of these charts have a lot of consolidation right now. And the amount of consolidation goes to show that there was not much in terms of volume today. And that could be for many different reasons. But I'm going to give you what I think is the main reason. And that is this. So let's take a look at our news today. We had GBP news in the morning. We had Euro USD news in the morning. We had USD news in the morning. We had more Euro news in the morning, and we should have some JPY news tonight. The reason for the consolidation and the sideways charting is typically due to traders not seeing price action in a manner that would intel or give them an idea of which way the market's actually going to move. So with that being said, we're seeing a lot of consolidation on each one of these charts, which isn't really giving us much of a trade. Sometimes the market doesn't give you trades, and it's our job to figure out when it does and when it doesn't, but we certainly don't want to force a trade. It's never good to force a trade. Forcing trades just leads to losses. Now, looking at all these charts, we're seeing a lot of the same thing, and that to me is not a good sign in terms of getting into a trade. We'll mark some of these charts up with their supports and their resistance, some that weren't really marked up. This one's got a perfect little zone right there. But the EMA ribbon is really holding us to a standard of support or a standard of resistance on a lot of these charts. Gold spiked high today and then started to consolidate. So there's a lot of different charts here that had big spikes earlier today with the news. And now they are just kind of consolidating at support or resistance zones or in the middle of the two. And like I said, we typically don't like to trade in the middle of the two zones because it's a less probable trade that you're going to be able to predict the right direction of the trade. NZD JPY is interesting here. So this is what you would call a bullish pin flag, and we trade this a lot. Here's your pin flag, right? We have very strong support right here. Our next resistance zone, if we were to draw this out, is going to be right up here. So here's kind of our next resistance zone, and then we can put one above that as well. Just to kind of draw out all our zones. You can put that one right over here. So what we'd want to see on this bullish pennant here is some sort of candle closure above the previous highs. If we can get a candle closure above the previous highs, we can look to take buys. So again, that's really the only solid looking trade right now that has any sort of substance to it, that gives us any sort of intel or information on what could be happening. Now, I do want to go back to Euro CHF for a second, and talk about something. So, Euro CHF on the 4-hour chart right now clearly broke through the support like we talked about. But it has such a large bullish candle here that it could be a reversal. However, any zone that it would have rejected at is already passed through. So with that being said, what we would need to do is wait for another hour candle to give us an indication of whether there's buying power or selling power. So I just want to make that note that on Euro CHF, it could be a sell and continue to decline all the way down to this next zone down here, which is right about here. Or we could see it reverse back up and go this way. But the green bullish candle is kind of throwing us off on what's going to happen. Hopefully that makes sense, guys. But let's look at some of these on the 15-minute chart, being that we just got a new 15-minute candle on a lot of these charts. So on the 15-minute candle here on Euro JPY, we did have a break of structure. So let's go over that and we'll chart it up together here. Here was your trend. Break of structure. And it looks like if we could get a green candle close right above the EMA ribbon, we can look to take buys. Tonight what we're going to do is trade on the 15. Typically I trade on the 4-hour and on the 1-hour. And what I've noticed recently is that when you trade on the 1-hour and the 4-hour, your moves typically take longer to play out. And what you can do is take this down to a smaller time frame and use the same logic and the same strategies, but on a smaller time frame. Now, the overall trend is still going to be extremely, extremely important. You really don't want to go against the overall trend. So in this case, on Euro JPY, it looks like we could be taking a buy. Adele, yes, you are correct. It looks like Euro JPY could be a buy here. What we're going to want to do is wait for a candle close above, and we can get in on this. But we'd also like to see it break this. There's the move, guys. That's a good question, actually. I'm pretty sure it is. But there's not a lot of volume. And volume equals volatility. Guys, I like this Euro JPY trade. Breaking it down on the 15. We're going to get in buys here. We're going to get in buys on Euro JPY. Mally XP TV, what's going on? How are you? We're going to get in buys right now on Euro JPY. And this is going to be a smaller hold time than normal, guys. Your stop loss is going to be pretty much where it broke. And our take profit's going to be somewhere up here. We expect it to reach some highs. Obviously, we'd want it to go all the way up. But we're trading on the 15. So the amount of movement that we're going to see may not be quite as much, but we are in on buys on Euro JPY. What we're going to do is draw some take profit lines. We're going to draw some take profit lines here, guys. And your take profit lines are typically going to be at points of previous resistance or consolidation, because typically when they reach those zones again, they have the same type of movement where they start to track sideways. What we're looking for is to get in that position where it moves up. What I like to do is mark up my chart in this manner because it helps me visualize where my stop losses and where my take profits are. I pinned the message on the stream, guys. I pinned it. It's a pinned message now. But we have the clear break of structure here, and we have a candle closure above the ribbon. So we are in buys on Euro JPY. We're going to go ahead and send this in our Discord right now. Oh, I got to get off of calling it Telegram. We just switched everything over to Discord. Alright, we sent that out. So now that we found a trade, what we're going to do is monitor it. It's as simple as that. We went through about 7 to 8 charts before we got into a trade. And now that we've found one, what we're going to do is take a look at it and see what happens. If you have questions on how we did that or how we marked that up, please feel free to ask. I have no problem re-explaining it. Again, that's what we're here for, is for everybody to learn and kind of understand why we get in trades and how we get in trades. But the candle closure with the ribbon flip is really important. So on the 15-minute, we found a break of structure, and I'm going to draw this out here. This is where we had our break of structure. That's where we had our break of structure, was right here. Hitch pair is in. I'm not sure what that means, Raja. Care to explain further? If you guys are just joining... Oh, which pair is this? This is Euro JPY. It says it right here. Euro JPY. And if you're on the horizontal stream, it says it right here. We're on Euro JPY, guys. We're long on Euro JPY. We're getting some profit and we're getting some buying pressure, which is good. And we have another 3 minutes until we get a 15-minute candle, guys. We are already 6 pips in profit. 6 pips in profit already. On these smaller time frame trades, I take a lot smaller of a lot size. Now, if you look at the chart on the 4 hour, on the way my broker has it compared to what TradingView looks at, it does look a little different. But this long term is also a good trade. If we look at this on the 1 hour, the 1 hour has now broken the EMA ribbon. And if we can get a 1 hour close that's above this, we should see some small retracement. Maybe back to our entry point right there. And then we can look to take a position again to keep going upwards. Our next real zone of resistance that we have at all is going to be this fair value gap right here. So this should feel free to move up to here. Now, it may not go straight because trades don't move in a linear line. However, it might go up to our TP1, maybe come back down, go up to our TP2, maybe come back down, and then finally up this way. So I wouldn't expect it to just be one huge green candle. That's not typically how the market moves, and that's why trading takes a little bit of patience. So, all right, yeah, you want to know our entry price? My entry price is, let's see here. You should be able to see it on the stream. If you can, I apologize. But our entry price, I will write it out for you here, is 182.552. entry. Our stop loss is 182.375, and our TP1 is 182.694. TP1 is 182.694. There you go. Hopefully that helps you out, Raja. What we're actually going to do is accurately put this. So my entry price on my broker was 182.5520. That'll give us a more accurate entry price so we can really see where it's at. But any sort of retracement is typically always halfway down the candle. So at the new hour here, well, let's take a look at the 15-minute because we did just get a new 15-minute candle. The new 15-minute candle gave us some wick room, which is nice. But we did have a full 15-minute close. That is above the EMA ribbon. This candle right here is a full 15-minute close above the EMA ribbon. Very solid information for us to have. And on the 1 hour, again, we could expect to see some retracement. So in order for me to take a second position on this, I'm going to personally wait until the hour candle, the new hour candle is printed at 8 o'clock. But if you'd like to get in, you're more than welcome to. It shouldn't be too much drawdown at all. Thank you, Dell. Appreciate that. If you guys are looking for someone to make you a Discord, Adele's your man, by the way. Shout out to Adele. All right, if you got it in the other stream, I appreciate it. Thank you. I wrote it in Streamlabs. I think Streamlabs always goes to the horizontal one, so I apologize there, guys. But like I said, we're going to wait to enter again to see if we get some retracement on the 1 hour. It's only 13 minutes. If we do, we'll look to re-enter and kind of scalp this up. But on the 4 hour, this looks like a very solid bullish trade. Let's go to our technicals here for a second. If you want to look at our technicals, your moving averages is a strong buy and your summary is a strong buy on the day. The 4 hour is also a buy. The 2 hour, the 1 hour, the 30 minutes, the 15 minutes, and the 5 minutes and the 1 minute are all buys or strong buys. So when you are talking about confirmations in your strategy, one of them can be aligning with the technicals that TradingView offers. Another one can be a reversal at a support or resistance zone. And another one can be a candle closure above a key zone. In our case, on the 15-minute chart, which is where we took this trade, we had a full candle closure above the EMA ribbon, which is a sign of buying power coming in. We had a break of structure, that's number 2. And number 3, we had a change of trend. Our break of structure now changed the trend to an uptrend on the 15-minute. The 4 hour also looks very bullish. So when you have confirmations on multiple time frames that align with your trade, it's typically a decent trade. It'll increase your odds and your probability of your trade being a successful one. If you're just joining, guys, I pinned my free Discord up to the top there. So if you're just joining, make sure you tap that link, get into the Discord. Make sure you subscribe. We go live Sunday through Thursday every week. Make sure you like the stream. And if you're learning something, give it a like, comment a little bit, and I'd appreciate it. But we're in buys on Euro JPY right now. And we're looking to at least go for Before we took our first take profit, we are looking to go for at least about 14 and a half to 14 and a half pips. Our TP2 is 30 pips, TP3 is 41 pips, and all the way would be 58. I doubt we'll see 58 right away, but it is certainly something we're looking for, and the ribbon flip with candle confirmation above gives us some strong insight as to what this chart is going to do. Hopefully everybody's having a good day so far. It's a little rough day for me, but we're here. We're live. That's all that matters. Oh, sorry about that. We're certainly getting some buying pressure and a ton of volume coming in, guys. We're at 22.K volume. That is the most volume out of any foreign exchange pair on the market right now. And like we always like to say, volume equals volatility, and volatility means movement. So when we have movement, that's when we can make money. Just got to show up, man. Day in and day out. Doesn't matter if you had a good day or bad day, you got to show up, you know? Getting time on the charts. That's how you learn. That's how you get better. It's not easy at all. Especially doing it live. There's like 4 or 5 people that actually stream live and want a real account in this space. And I don't really talk badly about people, and I never will, because it doesn't get you very far. We're all in the same trading community. But to actually put yourself out there and trade live with a live account is something to be said about that, you know? Have I tried Counter-Strike? No. I'm strictly Call of Duty guy, man. Strictly Call of Duty. One 82375. My phone number, you can DM me on Instagram or in my Discord, Raja. Discord is the preferred method of communication. So join the Discord. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything, and you can message me on there. That's the best way to get a hold of me. Here, I'll put it in the chat for you. Give me 1 second here. Looks like we've got some people online right now. This is the best way to get a hold of me. That link right there. Join that Discord, and you can feel free to message me on there. You can message in the introduction area, anywhere you want, and I'll personally reach out to you. Whatever questions you have. We're getting some nice movement, so that's good. There's our push. We've got a couple minutes left here in the hour candle too, so we should see some retracement. Something important to talk about too is to not always focus on the number. I've had some people say, "Oh, you're only making 30, 40 bucks. I'm always making $100." If you can't do it with $100, you certainly can't do it with $100,000. Um, Percentage is percentage. 10% on an account is 10% on an account. That doesn't change, if that makes sense. Learn to do it with a small amount of capital before you put a ton of your own capital in. We're almost 7 pips in profit right now, guys. And there's a couple ways that you can go about this trade from here. Yeah, and it's not something I really like to brag about either. This is just the small account that I use to trade with on YouTube. It keeps me a little more strict with my rules because I don't have as much flexibility. Can't hold as much drawdown with a smaller account, so it keeps me really strict with my rules. And when you're setting an example for other people to learn how to trade, it's really important to be strict with your rules. So that's the reason why. But yes, I do have a much larger account that I trade with. That's has the same trade in it right now, but I show the smaller one to relate to more people that this is something that you can do to make money on the side and eventually build yourself up. But if you can't make money with a small account, you certainly can't make money with the big account. You're going to make the same mistakes. So, starting small and working your way up to prove to yourself that you have the discipline, you know, the mental discipline, the emotional discipline, and understanding the technicals is something that's really important to do if you want to become a profitable trader. Hopefully, that makes sense to you guys. We have 4 minutes until we get a new candle here. Only a couple pips in profit here. 4 pips. Yep, I agree 100%. You get liquidated with a big account, that's not fun. You don't want to go pouring your life savings into an account and blow it. But you put a couple $100 in, you blow it, you live and you learn, it's not a big deal. You want to just minimize those losses because everybody has them. Any trader that tells you that they trade at 100% is insane. Like, we were at 100% for the first week and a half of trading live, and then we had a couple losses. Overall, of course, we're up, but you're going to have losses, and it's how you handle yourself when you have those losses. You got to just have a real even-keeled mindset about it. It hurts regardless. Being liquidated hurts regardless. But if you're getting liquidated on a trade, it means you're over leveraging yourself. You should never be getting liquidated. It's going to happen as you learn. But if you're getting liquidated constantly, you may want to reevaluate your lot size or your position size because it may be too much. I see that happen with a lot of new traders. I see it happen very often. We might close some partials going into this hour here. Take the profit and then re-enter on the way down. We'll see. Excuse me. Yes, sir, you are correct. Nobody trades at 100%. If they tell you that, they're lying. It's a nice move there. It's a really nice move there. We got 1 minute left. We're probably going to close, take the 20 bucks, and wait for the retracement. Let's see here. What are we at? That's a nice fair value gap we've created there. Good. Almost 9 pips in profit. New hour candle popped up as well. This is when we could look to take, you know, more positions if it continues the way we think it's going to. And we want to look at the 15 here. We've got a couple fair value gaps that have created some supports. We've got 4 of them. 2 of them were above the EMA. There's the drawdown that we're talking about. There's the drawdown we're talking about. And if you look at the hour, the 15 looks a little bit more drastic. But if you go and look at the hour, it's not as drastic. We talked about it going to the white line to then create a wick up. We want to make sure that there isn't too much selling pressure. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. And that was that all trades of your own, or was it taking my trades live? I think that's the lowest it's going to go. So we're going to take another buy there. We re-entered right here, guys. Oops. We re-entered another position right here. There you go. Hey, copying is learning. Copying is learning. You know, a lot of people shame copying, but if you're learning the process of why and understanding why we took the trade, no shame in that. That's why we do this. It's 100% why we do this. Let's take a look at our hour here. About halfway down is where the retracement's at right now. Four hours still looks very bullish too, so that's a good sign. But, you know, when we're in a trade like this, we just hop back and forth between the 15, the hour, occasionally check the 4. Obviously, as we're coming into one, we are going to be coming into a 4-hour candle here in the next 50 minutes, 57 minutes. So, but there's some retracement, and now we want to see it break the new highs. That extra entry that we took down there, you know, enabled us to get in a little bit more profit on the same trade. That's scalping your way up. That's a strategy that we've gone over on almost every stream now. Well, if you guys have any questions at all, feel free to let me know. Put it in the chat. I'd be happy to help. Happy to explain what we're doing and why we're doing it. It's important to know the why. You know, some people in this space like to just, say, do this, copy that. I'd rather, explain to you why. Break a structure. That's the play right there. Look at that movement. That's some solid movement. But the mistake that we're not going to make is holding for too long. And that happens sometimes. So we've done it before where you hold out for too long, waiting for it to keep going, and it reverses on you. Once we hit some of our targets, we're going to take profits because there's no reason to overhold. There is such thing as overholding. Some good movement right there, guys. Really good movement. We are at 10, well, we were at 10 pips in profit. So we're going to put that in the chat here in our Discord group. And we're going to let everybody know that we are 10 pips in profit. So what you can do from here is move your stop loss to break even for a risk-free trade, or continue to move your stop loss up with you manually. Looks like we're about to smash TP1, guys. TP1's 14 pips. We're right there. It's right there. TP1, we're going to close in full and wait for a little more retracement. 1 hour candle looks really solid as well. And it broke the previous high, which is, looks like a continuance here. And now, remember how we spoke about the 15-minute candle closure above we had right here. It was this previous candle was a full candle closure above. Actually, the previous two. Now, if by the next hour on the hour chart, this candle right here that we're on right now fully closes above this EMA ribbon right here, it's another great sign that this is going to keep buying, and we should see higher highs, and this should climb up the chart 2 hour marks. If you just subscribed, thank you guys. We're going up in subscribers on YouTube. I appreciate everybody for commenting, liking, subscribing. It means a lot to me, guys. I really do thank you. And there's that little bit of retracement that we talked about. Just fine. We got about 7 minutes until we get a new 15-minute candle. Upward movement's good. Seeing some decent buying power here, guys. The key here is not holding too long and getting out with your profits. On a 15-minute trade, on a 15-minute time frame, you can't stay in for too long. You can't stay in as long as an evaluation on a hour, a 4 hour time frame trade. No, typically it's not on the hour candles. Most of the time it's in the middle. when you start to see it wick down or wick up. We were right there. We were very close to TP1 there. We were right there. See if we can make it right back up to there, though. I think we should. Whether it's on this candle or the next one, I'm not sure, but we should keep going. We may see a slight retracement, again, because the market doesn't move in a linear fashion. You know, the market kind of moves like this. And we talk about this all the time. This is kind of what you can expect to see. Something like that. It really doesn't often just take off in a linear motion like this. That's news candles typically do that. And news candles we do not trade because they're too unpredictable. Yes, it does. That is the truth. Yeah, I mean, it moves like that for a couple reasons, too. I mean, it would have to be 100% buyers for it to move straight up. And that's just never going to happen because you have institutional trading and retail trading. And so not everybody's always going to agree on the same thing. Or look at the chart the same way or have, you know, buy orders or fill orders at the same price. It's not typical. We're very close to our TP1 here, guys. But we're still holding strong at 10.7, almost 11 pips in profit. Almost 11 pips. Yes, today is the last stream of the week. Today's Thursday. We do not trade Fridays. That is one of my rules, and I stick to that, is I do not trade Fridays. It's typically when most... tell me your online timing in terms of what? When do I stream? Typically, I start at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sunday through Thursday. And then one day a week, I will stream the New York session. Next week will be Tuesday. I will stream starting at 9:30 a.m. when market opens for the New York session. But yeah, to answer your question, pretty much right around 7 p.m. every night, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Because I'm in Florida. We have 1 minute until a new candle here, guys. Actually, 40 seconds to be exact. We'd like to have a green close here. It's 6:15 a.m. You must be somewhere in the same time zone as Adele. It's probably around the same time for him, too, in Bangladesh. Let's keep a green close here. Got 18 seconds left. Like to close green. Uh, 0.25. One entry. One entry at 0.20 or 0.25. And make sure you're at 1 to 500 leverage. I wouldn't go higher than 1 to 500. Our new 15-minute candle is moving here. It opened green. That's a great sign. Some good movement there, guys. Let's keep it green. About 40 bucks in profit.
At Replit, we believe effort.
It's looking good though. It's looking like a very solid trade on the 15-minute. And this 15-minute strategy is something that I've been back testing and using for years with the candle flip on the ribbon. It's a strategy I've been using for a long time. And typically, it's really only good for about 15 pips. 20 at the most. But your goal on these is 10 to 20 pips and then get out. Because that's when you start to see reversals. And that's something that I've been testing for years and years and years. So you don't have to take my word for it. You can try and do it on your own. But I'm just saying about 10 to 15 pips is what you want on this. So our TP1 here is where we're going to take our profit. And then we'll wait for a retracement to see if it kind of does go up and follow this line back down before it shoots up again. But we want to see TP1 here. Like I said, TP1 is going to be 14 pips. So pretty much right at that middle ground of where you want to take your profit on a 15-minute trade using the break of structure technique with the EMA ribbon flip on a 15-minute chart. I appreciate that. Excuse me. It's trying to sell. There's some bearish movement here, but with that previous candle closing green, I think the bulls are gonna win here, and we should see this keep climbing. If we do close with two dojis right here, dragonflies, two dojis, these two where price didn't move. Yeah, it certainly went up and came back down, went up and came back down, but if they close right where they opened, that's typically a sign of reversal, meaning it's going to come back down. So if the 15-minute closes like that, we'll take our profits. Just guarantee yourself some profits, put the money in the bag.
Computers now have primary control of critical vehicle functions.
But we're focused on this 15-minute candle right now. And we can look at the hour. Yeah, the hour is still going to push up. They are, I agree. Especially when they have huge wicks like this one over here. This doji candle right here with this huge wick. Like, that's a scary looking candle right there, because there was a ton of buying pressure and then it got pushed all the way back down and then continued down before it went up again. And continued down before it went up again and continued down before it went up again. And then all of a sudden you have the spike that we're in right now. Yep, exactly. We are back to almost 11 pips in profit here, guys. This 15 minutes has a lot of movement, but really no movement at all. Comes up, goes down, pretty much sits at the same price that it opened at. Which is a sign that the sellers and the buyers are at the same amount of volume. So again, with that being said, we don't want to overhold on this trade. If you're just joining us, guys, welcome. We are live on a Euro JPY buy off of the 15-minute ribbon flip. That's where we're at right now. Yeah, I'd love to, man. We just got to build up that Discord. You know, I have to pretty much start over because a lot of the people from the Telegram that had 170 subscribers have petered off. I think a lot of them don't trade anymore, and so we're really starting all over, trying to get people from all over the world together to learn and grow and make some money together. But I'd love to. Shoot, I'd host everyone at my place. Got enough room. This 15-minute candle is really playing with us. It's just kind of sitting at its open price. And again, if its open and closed price is the same again, could be a sign for us to close the trade and take our profits. If it closed right there, like that, we've got another 7 minutes here. About 7 minutes left in this candle. We could also take a look at it on the 5. So if we wanted to. Wow, the 5 is a very weird pattern. Look at that. Pretty much just a line of bodies. A line of bodies right there that it hasn't crossed, which is a good sign for us. The 5 minutes, an interesting looking chart right there. And we're about to get a new 5-minute candle in 1 minute. So when you're trading on the 15, you can drop down to the 5 for reference. But when you're on the hour and the 4 hour and you're doing a longer trade, The 5 is really just nuisance little movement that you don't want to look at. You're looking more at an overall trend. That's what we're doing, man. 2026 is our year. Build the best trading community Discord there is. And we're going to do it for free. Just to show that it's not always about monetizing everything. The VIP, when you want one-on-ones, yeah, you're going to pay for that. But for the free lives and the free signals, keep it free. But I've had quite a few people reach out to me for one-on-one lessons, and we're definitely going to do that route. It's on the website too. If that's something that you're interested in, it's on my website, tradingwithmatt.ai. A lot of movement on this 5 here. It looks like we're coming to a point here, and I'm not gonna say it quite yet, but it looks like we may be getting out of this trade in the next 5 minutes and taking our profit, so we don't lose our profits here. We could always re-enter if it comes down, or we can re-enter back here where we think it is. You always have options. Yeah, the 5-minute time frame is really wishy-washy right now, and it's creating some sort of consolidation. Creating a lot of consolidation on the 5-minute here. And we got 3 minutes until we get that new 15-minute candle, guys. We want to see this close green. That's a big move. See what the hour looks like. Just a waiting game here now. Got like a minute and 30 seconds left in this candle, but let's let that buying pressure really take over. All right, we got about 45 seconds here. And we may be making a decision. Last 30 seconds are pretty crucial here to see what kind of movement we get. We'd like to see some buying power come in and turn this thing green. Got 8 seconds. All right, we're going to close this trade, guys. We closed this trade and we took our profits. We're going to re-enter when it comes back down here. What did we close at? We closed about right there. I think we closed with almost 7 pips in profit. All right. What we're going to do here is take a look and see if we get this retracement down here. I think we're going to get some retracement here on the hour candle, and especially on the 4, is that we're going to get some movement down here. And what we want to do is not be in a trade when that happens. We want to wait till we see the retracement and then get in at the best possible price. So, with that being said, I think that's going to do it for tonight, guys. I know it wasn't it wasn't a ton of money, but this is a strategy right here that I just proved to you that works. The ribbon flip candle closure above the EMA ribbon, signifying an uptrend after a break of structure, is something that works. And like I said, it works for pretty much 10 to 15, at most 20 pips. We got out up here with money, and that's the way you want to do it. If you can recreate that over and over again every day, you will grow your account. You will compound your account, and your account will grow. So if nobody has any questions on that, it was great that we got out there. I'm going to call it a night early. We made money. We made money. It may not have been much, but we made money and we added to our account. And that is the most important part. Adele, my admin and moderator, I appreciate you very much. You can always message me in Discord if you have any questions or you want to talk. But that is going to be it for us. I may re-enter by myself later, so if you guys learned anything on how this works on re-entering, WStream, thank you. I appreciate it, and let's get some claps in there. WStream, guys, we took profit, and look at it, it came back down. So instead of being back at break even, we made money. And that's the way to do it, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching, guys. And I will send out our weekly update in the Discord with our total profit for the week. Yeah, I have a stream deck. Yeah, there's a different kind of claps. Got cinematic. This is all stream deck stuff right here. But perfect time to take profit, guys. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next week. And stay tuned for more messages, updates, and everything in the Discord. Make sure you click that link. Again, I appreciate all you guys very much. You guys have a good weekend and a good night.